Your money is about to become a piece of software. Everything you believe about financial freedom is rooted in a 20th century relic, the physical banknote. You believe that once you earn a dollar, that dollar is a static object you own. You are wrong. We are entering the era of programmable sovereignty. Disclaimer: this analysis is not a prediction of a coming collapse. It is a systems analysis of the transition from passive currency to active monetary engineering. The following data is sourced from the Bank for International Settlements, BIS, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and white papers from the Federal Reserve and the European Central Bank. We are documenting the mechanics of a structural shift, not a conspiracy. According to the Atlantic Council, as of 2024, 134 countries, representing 98% of global GDP, are exploring a central bank digital currency, CBDC. This is not an upgrade to your banking app. It is a fundamental redesign of the social contract. Welcome to the end of anonymous labor. Part 1. The illusion of digital equivalence. We have a psychological habit of equating digital money with the numbers in our Chase or Barclays app. This is the first assumption we must shatter. The money currently in your commercial bank account is private credit. It is a liability of a private institution. A central bank digital currency, CBDC, is a direct liability of the state. In the current system, the central bank is a wholesaler. They deal with commercial banks, who then deal with you. This creates a buffer of privacy. The state sees the macro, it does not see your morning coffee or your under-the-table payment to a local handyman. The informal economy, for example, the gardener paid in cash, the Facebook marketplace flip, the $20 tucked into a birthday card, is the last remaining friction in the gears of total macroeconomic control. To a central banker, your privacy is market inefficiency. According to the International Labour Organization, ILO, more than 2 billion people, 60% of the world's employed population, operate in the informal economy. In developed nations, this shadow labor provides the essential flexibility that keeps communities resilient during crises. A central bank digital currency aims to bring 100% of that activity into the light. Not for your benefit, but for the sake of systemic transparency. Part 2. The mechanics of programmability. Why would a state go through the Herculean effort of replacing its entire monetary architecture? The answer lies in monetary policy transmission. Formal monetary policy is currently leaky. When the Federal Reserve raises interest rates, it takes months for that signal to move through commercial banks to the actual consumer. It is like steering a tanker with a 1,000-mile-long rope. A central bank digital currency provides the state with a direct digital tether to your wallet. This introduces the concept of programmable money. 1. The expiration date, velocity control. In a traditional recession, the government sends out stimulus checks. Many people do the rational thing, they save it. From the perspective of a macro engineer, this is a failure. They need you to spend to jumpstart the velocity of money. With a central bank digital currency, the state can add a smart contract to your currency. In his 2021 speech at the International Banking Conference, Augustine Carstens, General Manager of the Bank of International Settlements, stated, "The central bank will have absolute control on the rules and regulations that will determine the use of that expression of central bank liability, and also we will have the technology to enforce that." Imagine a stimulus payment that loses 10% of its value every week, it remains unspent. The state is no longer just managing the amount of money, they are managing the behavior of the holder. 2. Negative interest rates. Under the current system, if a bank charges you to keep your money there, negative interest rates, you can simply withdraw physical cash and put it under a mattress. Physical cash provides a floor for interest rates. A central bank digital currency, or CBDC, removes the mattress. If the currency is entirely digital and centralized, the zero lower bound vanishes. The state can program a -2% interest rate directly into the ledger to force consumption. You cannot opt out of the system because the system is the only place the money exists. Part 3. The death of the informal social safety net. Think about your own life. Have you ever relied on a favor or a cash gig when you were between jobs? Maybe you helped a friend move for $100, or sold an old bike to cover a bill. Human beings are naturally informal. We trade value based on trust, not just ledgers. We have a psychological need for social capital, the ability to help one another without a third party, that is the state, taking a cut or recording the intent. Central Bank Digital Currencies or CBDCs represent the financialization of everything. When every transaction must be validated by a central ledger, the favor becomes a taxable event. The informal safety net that has protected the working class for centuries is replaced by a permissioned economy. According to a World Bank report on shadow economies, the informal sector in some emerging markets accounts for up to 30 to 40% of GDP. By forcing this labor into a CBDC framework, the state achieves total tax capture. While this sounds fair on paper, the human cost is the destruction of the margins where the most vulnerable survive. Part 4. Data of the panopticon. The data confirms the trend. In China, the ECNY, or digital yuan, has already seen over $250 billion, or 1.8 trillion yuan, in transaction volume as of mid-2023, according to the People's Bank of China, PBOC. The ECNY, or digital yuan, is not just a payment tool, it is integrated into China's social credit frameworks. It allows for the automated fine of citizens for minor infractions, like jaywalking, deducted instantly from the digital wallet. In the West, the rhetoric is more sanitized. The Federal Reserve's 2022 discussion paper on money and payments emphasizes privacy-protected design. However, the technical reality of a centralized ledger makes true anonymity impossible. As noted by Eswar Prasad, professor of trade policy at Cornell and author of The Future of Money, the end of cash is within sight. It could be a harbinger of a world where the government knows everything about you. But I have nothing to hide. The most common objection to this analysis is, I'm a law-abiding citizen. Why should I care if the government sees my transactions? This misses the point of systems analysis. The danger isn't that you are bad, the danger is that the definition of bad is now programmable and retrospective. Consider the 2022 Canadian trucker protest. The Canadian government used the Emergencies Act to freeze the private bank accounts of protesters without a court order. This required the cooperation of private banks. In a CBDC world, that middleman is gone. The state can deplatform a citizen from the entire economy with a single line of code. It is not about hiding a crime, it is about the asymmetry of power. When your ability to buy food is tied to a programmable ledger, your right to dissent becomes a privilege to be earned. Part 6. The maintenance of the labor force. In Part 1, we talked about anonymous labor. Why does the state want to end it? Because in a world of increasing automation and AI, the state needs a way to manage a surplus population. If 30% of jobs are automated by 2040, the state must implement Universal Basic Income, UBI, to prevent total social collapse. A CBDC is the perfect delivery mechanism for UBI, but it is a double-edged sword. You get your monthly credit to survive. Those credits can be restricted. You can only spend this on groceries, not alcohol. You can only spend this within a 10-mile radius of your home. You must meet your carbon quota to unlock your next payment. The end of anonymous labor means the beginning of subsidized compliance. Part 7. The final insight, the invisible tether. As we move deeper into the 2020s, the battle for the soul of money will be the defining geopolitical conflict. This isn't just about convenience or faster payments. It is about whether the individual remains an autonomous actor or becomes a cell in a state-managed economic organism. The narco-state used proxies to fund shadow wars. The digital state will use CBDCs to fund shadow control. The system is no longer just watching you, it is participating in your every choice. Conclusion: the choice of the gray zone. When you hear your local politician talk about the innovation of a digital dollar, look past the convenience. Ask yourself, what is the price of frictionless living? The gray zone of the informal economy was the last place where a human being could exist without being a data point. As that zone shrinks, we must decide, do we value the efficiency of the cage, or the messiness of the freedom? If you value deep dive, evidence-based analysis that looks under the hood of the global power structure, subscribe and turn on notifications. We are deconstructing the systems of the 21st century, one ledger at a time.